Foods to avoid if you have high blood pressure. Managing high blood pressure sucks. There are all these rules and instructions you have to follow, which can be super restrictive and can make life somewhat less enjoyable. But the truth is, these lifestyle changes are important if you're going to live a full, healthy life, even with high blood pressure. That said, as you probably already figured out by now, almost everything rises and falls on your diet. There are certain foods that can worsen high blood pressure, and some that can actually lower your blood pressure and keep it within a healthy range. Today we're going to point out all those foods that can worsen high blood pressure so you can avoid them. Now, we've got to say right off the bat that cutting these foods out of your diet, it's going to be hard work. We're talking packaged foods and deli meat and even pickles. But don't worry, even though it takes a while, your body does get used to it. Yeah, your body is smart like that. So with that said, and without further ado, here are the foods you want to avoid if you have high blood pressure. The number one offender on this list is salt, or more correctly, sodium. Well, almost half of what we know as table salt is sodium anyway. Now, why is sodium so bad? Well, if you take in too much sodium in the form of table salt or other packaged foods, your body is forced to hold on to excess water so that it can wash off the excess salt. But at the same time, when your body holds on to excess water, it puts too much pressure on your blood vessels and heart. This could cause an increase in blood pressure for some people. But just how much sodium is too much sodium? According to the American Heart Association, you shouldn't have more than 2,300 milligrams of sodium per day. 2,300 what now? What does that even look like? Well, it looks like one teeny tiny teaspoon of salt every day. Exactly, that little. You're probably laughing now because you know how far you exceed this limit every day. So do most people. And what makes it worse is that your sodium intake doesn't come from the salt you add while cooking alone. There are many other ways salt sneaks into your daily diet unnoticed. For instance, those rolls you love, the pizza, cold cuts, sandwiches, soups, burritos, tacos. Well, they're also big-time contributors to your daily salt intake too. Not to mention seafood, cheese, certain legumes, olives, as well as kosher salt, sea salt, and even certain medications. But hey, don't look so glum, there is a way around this. Now go for low-sodium versions of your favorite foods. Your taste buds probably aren't going to like it at first, but they'll survive. Also, you've got to become a label-reading ninja. Look out for words like sodium, soda, as well as the symbol Na, which stands for sodium, and avoid such foods. Instead, look for foods labeled low sodium or low salt. You'll also need to cut salt from your cooking, but that doesn't mean you can't have some spice in your life. Try out alternatives like allspice, basil, cinnamon, curry powder, lemon juice, nutmeg, sage, paprika, or ginger. Next on our list is deli meats. There's a reason sandwiches are a very popular food choice. Come on, these guys are easy to make, they don't take time, and they're simply delicious. With the 1,001 things we do every day, sandwiches and the processed meats they come with are usually the go-to lunch choice within this easy reach. But apparently your body will have none of that. You treat it like a temple or it will revolt on you. Deli meats and other such processed meats can make you really sick. In fact, experts say that even just a few pieces of deli meats taken every day can increase your risk of coming down with heart disease up by 42%. No jokes. Processed meats such as deli meats contain a very high level of sodium, which we've seen to be very bad for your health. But besides a high level of sodium, many processed meats also contain refined grains, preservatives, and sugar, which are bad for you. And that's not even all. There is a bit of a cancer risk that comes with eating processed meats. Because it's preserving these meats, many are prepared with preservatives which contain nitrates. On their own, nitrates aren't so bad. But there's just something that happens when they're mixed with meats and turns them carcinogenic. So besides the high blood pressure risk, it's best to cut out your beloved deli meats. And we hate to say it, but you've also got to cut out or at least reduce how much hot dogs and bacon as well. Next up, we have frozen pizza. Hey guys, we know this already. Pizza is on the naughty list. Everybody knows that too. You've got your cheese in there, there's also processed meat, dough, and tomato sauce. Ingredients that make you salivate to think about, but bring in a truckload of fat and calories that harm your body through the back door. But if you thought pizza was bad for you, then allow frozen pizza to introduce itself. As you know, there's no free lunch. If frozen pizza is going to retain all that tasty pizza deliciousness, then something or someone has got to pay the price. And guess who's paying? Yeah, you guessed right, you are. And no, we're not talking about the greenbacks you spend to get the fast food, we're talking about your heart's health. Frozen pizzas come chock full of salt to preserve the state. So we're talking about 3 grams of salt roughly. Some even contain a little over 6 grams of salt, and the recommended daily limit for adults is 6 grams. Remember we told you sodium is sneaky, right? So it's not just about the salt that producers include while making the pizza, it's also the cheese, cured meat, and tomato sauce, each dragging their own quota of sodium to that one slice of pizza and wrecking your body as a result. If you love pizza so much, and who doesn't? Those things are delicious. Why not try making your own pizza at home? Use homemade dough, low-sodium cheese, and your favorite veggies as toppings. You get to have fun while cooking, eat your favorite food, and still keep to your healthy heart. 3 for 1. Sign us up, right? Next on our list is everyone's favorite, pickles. Pickles are another food you want to cut out from your diet if you have high blood pressure. Yes, those tasty pickles you love so much are actually bad for your heart, and it's the same reason you're probably guessing: sodium. On average, a medium-sized pickle can contain up to 800 milligrams of sodium. That's high. To preserve any food, you need salt because that's what's going to keep the food from decaying, making it last for longer. But as usual, no free lunch. The longer veggies sit in cans and preserving liquids, the more they absorb sodium. And of course, that's bad for you. Of course, having a pickle every other day is not going to kill you. But you have to remember that there's a lot of salt sneaking into your diet from other sources too. Adding a pickle to all of that is definitely something you don't want to do. Good news is there are low-sodium pickles available. They're not as tasty because they contain less salt, but then again, less salt means less sodium. So you're going to have to find a way to live with that. Be prepared to have your heart broken further, as next on our list is canned soup. Everybody's favorite comfort food that just makes us feel cozy inside. Canned soup is super convenient. We know. See what we did there? Soup. Super. Anywho. Canned soup might be convenient, but it's also one of the most processed foods you could possibly lay your hands on. But what's even worse about canned soup is that it's a trick food. You see all this celery, the lentils, the carrots, it's gotta be healthy, right? But you don't see that they're packed full of sodium and saturated fat, which are terrible for your heart especially. Even if you take just half a cup, you're still going to be exceeding your daily salt limit. Now, the best alternative to canned soups is to make your own brothy bean soup by yourself at home. But how about these days when you're sick or sad and just not in the mood, and just need to curl up in bed with a bowl of soup? Well, if for any reason you couldn't be bothered to cook your soup, then you can have some canned soup, but eat it with a piece of fruit or fresh salad. These typically contain potassium, so they can assist your body in flushing out the sodium so you don't overwork your heart. And now we move on to sugar. Yep, sugar. It does more than increase your waistline. It could actually cause you to come down with high blood pressure. In fact, doctors have said that sugar is probably worse for your heart than its equally white grand cousin salt. But how exactly is sugar bad for your heart? So when your body takes in sugar, it stores it as energy so that your body can use it for work whenever it needs it. Now, the best way for your body to store energy is fat deposits. But the problem comes when your body does not use that energy immediately, because then your body would have no choice but to store the excess as body fat. This is why taking too much sugar makes you fat. You carry around more weight than your heart was actually designed to provide for. So it now has to work extra hard just to keep up. You can probably guess what happens next. Exactly. Your heart will get stressed and then high blood pressure develops. So please avoid sugars. Keep it to a maximum of 6 teaspoons if you're a woman or 9 teaspoons if you're a man. Also, remember that the sneaky sugars are the most dangerous. So watch out for sugars you don't see. They often sneak in through sodas, cookies, biscuits, and the rest. If you have an incurable sweet tooth, why not try a healthy fruit-based dessert rather than processed sugar? You don't have to sacrifice the sweet and your heart remains healthy. Win-win! We move on to the 7th and final item on our list today. Okay, this one's not actually food, but it's bad for your heart: alcohol. Now, no one is saying you can't bring out the champagne after landing that new job, winning that contract, or getting that yes. You sure can. In fact, alcohol can actually be good for you if you take it in moderation, as the experts recommend. However, drinking alcohol, even on one occasion, can cause your blood pressure to increase. But that's only temporary, so there's nothing to worry about. Drinking alcohol every day, on the other hand, might be a problem, especially if you exceed the recommended limit. Exactly how alcohol causes high blood pressure is pretty complicated, but scientists say that drinking more than 2 to 3 drinks per day can cause heart disease. Binge drinking is even worse because doing it even once a week only puts you at much greater risk for high blood pressure than someone who takes a moderate amount of alcohol every day. So feel free to celebrate the good times at the bar with your friends, but as they say, don't forget to drink responsibly. And there you have it, all the foods you gotta cut out from your diet immediately if you've got high blood pressure. We hope you enjoyed this video. Please comment down below your thoughts, give this a like, share with your friends, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button and notification bell to keep you updated for more interesting facts, tips, and ideas from SmartVille.